so happy we alive.
Our next guest, he had a successful career as a stand-up comic, which he continues to do. His show was wonderful last night. For many years, before he shook up the airwaves forever by inventing a program called Politically Incorrect. Now, Politically Incorrect, I'm sure most of us know, but it's an interesting description I came across. It was once referred to as the McLaughlin Group on Asset. I understand that he's now had more than 1,000 of those politically incorrect shows, winning 3 Cable Ace Awards on Comedy Central before switching to ABC, where he reaches millions of viewers every night. Both on television and in his many public appearances, as we saw last night, Bill has consistently told the truth about drugs and drug policy, displaying courage and compassion. He has also added some insightful humor to the subject. For example, when he once suggested for our next drug czar that we consider Keith Richards. He has also based his program at one time at the Maricopa County, Arizona's 10th prison. He televised from there. He also had a program once where he had both Todd McCormick and Woody Harrelson on to discuss the medical use of marijuana. Important to me, and I know to a lot of the rest of you, is this. Bill doesn't just talk the talk, he does walk the walk. And by that, let me tell you specifically what I mean. Todd McCormick is someone who's dearly beloved by many of us, and Bill Maher has been a one-man lifeline for Todd McCormick for the 3 years he's been in prison. Mark Twain once said that against the force of laughter, nothing stands. When the laws against marijuana are finally repealed, Bill Maher will be a hero and a major part of that change. Please welcome Bill Maher.
Thank you. You're very kind. I'm sure very stoned. So, warm show. But it's 2 o'clock. Well, it's 4:20 exactly. Well, listen. First of all, thank you. You should be standing for this man, Keith, and yourselves who do this on a far more consistent basis than I do. If you work on a day-to-day level, that's where the real applause goes. That's where the pats on the back goes. I know there are people who work tirelessly at this, and my thanks and yours should go out to them. It doesn't seem, when you think about it, that it should be that hard to get a vast majority of people in this country to admit publicly or support publicly the idea of decriminalizing the one drug that never kills anybody. But the reason why it is hard, I think, is, as David was pointing out very well, there is a vast silent majority, and I do mean silent. And it's up to us in this room, who have commissioned ourselves to lead this battle, to awaken that silent majority and tell them that they can't be silent anymore. I mean, the problem with this drug is complacency. It's not that it's too hard to get, it's too easy. Let me quote you Mr. Redman this month in Gear magazine. He said, "Yeah, I used to think let's legalize it so I could smoke all day, but damn, I smoke all day now." And that's the problem. is that the government is so ineffective and inconsistent that it lulls us into this sense of complacency, and we forget about the people who really are suffering, who are arrested for it. Keith is right. I'm here a lot because my friend is in prison and it hurts me. Not as much as it hurts him, but it bothers me a lot. It makes me mad. It makes me mad that so many hundreds of thousands of Americans are arrested. That is a big number. If that was a disease, people wouldn't stand for it. And you know, these are Americans. I understand that Americans are not real good at understanding or having empathy for foreigners. That's one thing. But these are your fellow citizens. And, you know, marijuana smokers have a well-deserved reputation of some really good qualities, like being tolerant and open-minded. And these are wonderful things. I just wonder if they haven't hurt us in this struggle. Because we should be intolerant of the injustice that is going on. I don't want anger. The Nixon Commission report was 30 years ago, and we're still here, and we still have to crawl into alleyways like criminals to smoke a joint. And those are the lucky ones who aren't in prison for it. It's the cancer of drug causes. Year after year, the carnage goes on, and we can't find a cure. But the thing is, it shouldn't be as hard as cancer. I mean, it is such a triumph of fear and ignorance over fact and logic that the drug that kills nobody is the illegal one. How would you explain that to an alien who came down? But I'll tell you why that is, and this is important. It's because everything in America is about marketing and image. A bad product, well apologized for, is always better than a good product. It's all about Madison Avenue. The Mayor Bloomberg campaign was a fantastic beginning of getting at people's hearts and minds, but that is where the battle is won, and I think we have been reluctant because we are good people. Like I said, tolerant, open-minded. You know, we're like the Indians. We do not want to use white man's evil ways. But we're going to have to use the white man's evil ways. This isn't like the war on terrorism. We can't just win it by putting a flag on our car. So nothing changes in America without the cooperation of two shameless beasts, the media and politicians. And you have to put a human face on this. We have to put a human face on this. We have to do what everybody does, which is manipulate the media and politicians to do things in their interest, because they only do things in their interest. Long gone are the days when the institutions of the media and politicians felt they had a public obligation to do what's right. No, we have to appeal to ratings and votes. That's all they care about. How do we make it interesting for them? How do we make it profit them? Well, you know, if someone really wanted to make pot acceptable and they had the kind of money that they have for a McDonald's campaign or to put George Bush in the White House, you could make pot acceptable. You can convince people of anything. George Bush one day became a reformer with results. Imagine convincing people that George Bush was a reformer. Oh yeah, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, George Bush. That's who I think of as the reformers, the real skunk at the garden party. They called him a Washington outsider. He's straight out of Compton, this guy, let me tell you. But again, his father was head of the CIA and the president. He's a Washington, again,